Shonen anime is a genre that has sat at the top of the industry for years. It has one of the largest fan bases, rakes in the most money, and is somewhat eternal. Throughout its history, there are events and specific series that have shaped the genre into the powerhouse it is now. And so today, I've broken down the history of shonen into 3 different periods. The 1900s to the 2000s, 2000s to the present, and present day. If you're interested in how the shonen genre got its start, when it became so popular in the West, or why there's been such a recent increase in its popularity, then stick around, because I will answer all your questions. The origins of shonen anime lie in, no surprise, shonen manga. Shonen manga became a thing around 1905 when manga magazines were having a boom. During this boom, magazines began to target certain demographics, which is when the term shonen was coined. The word shonen is made up of the kanji that means young boy. So shonen manga quite literally means young boy's comic. The target demographic for the shonen genre originally targeted boys around the age of 12 to 8. While that is still the same today, there are many people, me, outside of that age range that still enjoy the genre. Flash forward 45 years, and between the years 1950 and 1969 is when manga started to gain a large readership. One of the most impactful events during this time was the manga release of Tetsuwan Atom, also known as Astro Boy. The manga originally released in 1952, and it was followed in 1963 by an anime adaptation. It follows Atom, a teenage robot who fights bad guys to protect himself and others from danger. The story is high action, where Atom faces challenges that he must persevere through so that he can grow as a person. Now, the thing about Astro Boy that makes it so impactful was this was the very first anime adaptation of a shonen series, and is really where the whole genre starts its journey. Another key event to point out during this period was the start of Weekly Shonen Jump magazine in 1968. Since then, Shonen Jump has been on the top of shonen magazines, with big titles like One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, Death Note, JoJo, and more. I'm sure you can tell from just that lineup that Shonen Jump doesn't fuck around. One more thing we gotta talk about before we move on is the publication of Fist of the North Star and Dragon Ball. These 2 series started around mid-1980s and are credited with setting the popular trends and standards for shonen manga and anime from the 80s onwards. Well, before most shonen stories centered around sports and competitiveness, during the 80s there was a rise in interest in battle shonen. As a male, I can say there is nothing better than watching a testosterone-fueled fight for justice where an overly muscular guy yells a lot so his hair can change color.
I will not let you destroy my world!
The increase in demand for battle shonen led to the creation of some of the most iconic 90s anime series. From series like Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Ronin Kenshin, Mobile Gundam, Hunter x Hunter, and One Piece. With the increasingly large amount of shows that found themselves belonging to the genre, the shonen genre has created a lot of subgenres. Do you like sci-fi and space? We got you covered. Big fan of Gundams? We got that too. Love to see samurais duke it out? Here you go. Sports? Adventure? I could go on. You can think of the genre of shonen this way. There are many genres that an anime can belong to. Supernatural, martial arts, mystery, horror, whatever. But as long as the anime or manga is targeted towards a teenage boy audience and features a male protagonist who must face and overcome challenges, then more likely than not you're watching a shonen. As time moves on, the shonen genre becomes increasingly popular, with anime becoming especially more popular in the West thanks to TV stations like Cartoon Network beginning to show anime in America. During the early 2000s, anime had become a new niche in America that was slowly gaining popularity. The biggest contributor to this was the broadcasting of shows like Naruto and Dragon Ball in America. While in the mid-90s is when Cartoon Network originally started showing anime, during the 2000s is when they really got serious about it. While the only anime that Cartoon Network would really show during the day was Pokemon, during the night CN would show more teenage-oriented shonen shows. This block was given the name Toonami, and it gained a lot of popularity across America. This late-night Toonami block showed a variety of anime shows, from stuff like Naruto to Sailor Moon. In 2001, Cartoon Network launched Adult Swim, so they could show more adult-targeted cartoons. Ironically enough, the main reason for this new adult TV block was to show more anime, many of them being shonen titles which would wiggle their way into young children like myself at the time. So much for the adult part. To prove just how important these broadcasts were, they would go on to make 2 series, Dragon Ball and Naruto, more popular in America than they were in their home country of Japan. With the increase of popularity overseas for anime, especially the shows belonging to the shonen genre, the industry was able to raise the bar of possibilities. there was a handful of shows that gained a large following. One Piece, Naruto, and the long-argued third choice of either Bleach or Dragon Ball were deemed the name the Big Three. While this may seem a little crazy, all 4 of these shows named are all going strong up to this year, with even Bleach coming back in 2022. The point of me saying that is to tell you that these shows are common talk for the past 20 so years. Other well-known beloved animes of the decade included Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Death Note, Code Geass, and Gintama. As we move on to the 2010s, there's one key point that changed the way we watched anime. That is the introduction of streaming services. While there were many illegal distribution sites, and still are for that matter, Crunchyroll was a key leader in legal distribution. In 2009, Crunchyroll struck a deal with TV Tokyo to host episodes of Naruto Shippuden, which became the start of legally showing content to people across the world. With the help of sites like these, large quantities of anime were now available to our fingertips. This allowed for a larger popularity and a variety of shonen, from titles like Attack on Titan and Tokyo Ghoul to lesser known like Black Bullet and Devil is a Part-Timer. To basically summarize it all, the 2010s were a period where more quantities and varieties of anime could be shared with a larger audience. We can see that in the past few years there's been a certain event that occurred that led to quite a spike in the amount of consumers of anime, and I think we all know what I'm talking about. In 2019, we had a global pandemic that left many people at home for work and school with a lot more free time than we originally had. In the past couple years leading up to 2019, Western streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and HBO had recently upped the amount of anime shows in their library. With many Americans already owning one or a few of these streaming platforms, they already had access to quite a big library of anime. So during this increase of free time, it led a lot of people to go and explore new things. And lo and behold, some of them chose to go and watch some anime. As time moves on, some of these streaming platforms even try to make their own original anime, with Netflix trying extremely hard to do this while failing extremely well. This talk about newcomers to anime really reminds me of something I experienced just recently. During the summer, I taught as a teacher assistant at my local school. During one of the days when I was teaching some 3rd graders, we went to the library so they could pick out some books to read. What really surprised me when I was there was a lot of them wanted to read manga. It seemed that Demon Slayer and Boku no Hero Academia had quite the influence on the younger generation. Driving home that day, I tried to figure out just how shows like Demon Slayer spread to a bunch of 9-year-olds. My conclusion was that most likely they found it through Netflix, which was streaming Demon Slayer. Now, I don't know why this encounter struck me as hard as it did, but I think it was because when I was their age, it wasn't cool and it wasn't easy to find new anime. In recent years, the biggest thing I've noticed is that people don't treat anime like it's all straight hentai anymore. I mean, you can go that way too, but besides the point, anime has become an established medium in the Western culture, and this is especially true around shonen titles. Just recently, there's been an increase in anime movies shown in America, with Mugen Train being a box office hit over here, to be followed by Jujutsu Kaisen 0 later this year. In times past, I've labeled Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and Jujutsu Kaisen as the new Big Three. And the reason behind me saying this is because these 3 shows seem to lead the charge for getting newcomers into anime. When I was growing up, that's what the original Big Three did for me. And as always, when time moves on, so does everything. Just as the trio before them, the new Big Three is painting the way for new ideas and possibilities, showing just how innovative they can be through the action, emotion, and beauty of animation. Shonen anime has, for years, opened the door to an industry that not many of us knew about before. Whether your introduction to the genre was on a box TV, a sketchy computer site, or a streaming device, I think we can all say that we don't regret watching that first episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed this history video and maybe even learned a thing or two while watching it. If you guys have any comments on this video, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and sub for more content like this. And as always guys, I'll see you next week.